Welcome back, YouTubers. Today we're going to be doing a quick tip how to identify the caulking and the spackling that you've done. It may become a little bit discreet after you've sanded it or once you've walked away for a little while. So this is what I do to identify where I've been so it's easier to touch up. So the first example I'd like to show you is here. You can see we have to caulk between these trim joints. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and caulk that up. Quite simple. And just wipe that back. And then of course we have our wet cloth with us at all times. And work that caulking into the crack there so it becomes invisible. So then we clean up that where we've been with a damp cloth. So this I've demonstrated before. But basically now you made this line invisible. How do we know where we've been? We go through this entire apartment and we caulk everything up. Well, not every joint needs to be caulked. So how do we know which ones have to be painted and which don't? We just take our green masking tape, the inexpensive of the masking tape that we have, but we want the stuff that's not going to stick to the paint. And what we do is we just run our tape along the angle above the area we need to paint. And so we need to come down here as well. We'll just take a little bit of the masking tape and we'll just do that. And now we know where we have to paint. Here's another scenario. On examination of this wall we see there's a nail pot. And in videos in the past I've shown you how to center line the nail pot and then we can work from there. And what I've done is I've used a pencil and I've drawn a very light crosshair point through the pot. But I found that if you encourage people to do this, they might go a little heavy on the pencil lines and it could even break through even 2 coats of paint. So what I would encourage instead is to either take your tape and do a piece of tape above and a piece of tape below. And that's what we do. And then we work on your nail pot, and once we put our filler in, it might be hard to see that again, but if we leave our tape on there, or if we widen out our tape, if the nail pop repair becomes larger, then we know we have to paint in between this area. If it's a really small hole repair and we sand that, we might not be able to find that spot again. We might miss it if we're touching up. So again, you would just take your tape and put it either side of the repair. And that reminds you, you have to touch that up. Another tip that you might use, if you don't like the tape idea, is to take some playground chalk. You take a contrasting color. I wouldn't suggest using a dark color like red or green. This is yellow, you could use white. And maybe use orange if you need it to stand out. But then I would just find my nail pot and then I would just mark it like that with the playground chalk. Then you'll be able to see it for future reference. If you found that video useful, and I hope you do find it useful in your future projects. And it just saves a lot of frustration knowing where you have to paint to touch up after you've gone around and caulked and spackled everywhere. Feel free to leave any comments or suggestions on if you'd like to see a demonstration. And in the meantime, you could like the videos and by all means subscribe. Until next time, it's been Craig, the Spackle Painter.